Here it is, Sunday morning, and look what's coming up the driveway. Got a John Deere 620 here. And here we've got an Allis. What kind of Allis is this? WD-45, he says. With dual wheels. Whoa. Well, it's good to see you guys again this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think you'd come to church in your tractors on this cloudy, rainy day.
It ain't going to rain. They're just cold clouds.
Oh, you never know. So you came up this morning with a John Deere. What year John Deere you got here?
1936, roughly.
A what?
It's the 1936 620.
620 John Deere.
Yeah.
Power steering.
No.
No power
We
steering?
got power. We took it off.
You took it off?
Yeah. For the regular old cut steering.
Well, we've got Danny up here this morning. My photographer, he's in Milwaukee today, so I'm taking the pictures for him.
There you go.
And he's real excited about this. Anyway, how's that thing run for you?
Runs smoother than butter. It's the best tractor on our farm, I guess.
Best tractor on the farm.
Oh, yeah. It's the grain drill tractor. Does all the oats.
Does the oats.
Yep.
Did you guys get it new?
Dad got it new 2 years ago from my grandpa.
Okay. So your grandpa got it new and your dad got it new from him. Okay.
Well, actually, grandpa bought it sitting in the shed. Never ran until he put a battery in it and she fired.
Really?
Yep, Dad got it and it's been on the farm for half its life.
Looks like it's got new tires on it.
No, they're old, but they're not beat to like the WD. They're worn out.
John Deere. It's even got a flag on it. Look at there.
Removable flag mount.
He's got a mounted flag on the back end. These guys are parade ready.
Oh, yeah.
Danny's ready to go.
Yep.
John Deere. How many gears you got there?
6 forward, 1 reverse.
Six-speed transmission, 1
Yeah.
reverse. Okay.
That's a 1935. It's close to the year the WCL.
Okay. Now come and tell me about this WD-40. What's the deal with the dual wheels now?
Well, we found them at an auction down in Rushford, Minnesota, a place called Dar Auctions, and we had been talking about doing this for a while, but we were wanting to do it with bolt-on hubs. We were talking about just taking another set of wheels and just making a hub to where they bolt up. But we had found these down at the auction, and they were the right size tire for the 45, but not for his WD, and so we picked them up for $55.
$55. Hey, that's not too bad for a set of dual wheels.
Yeah, and they're still in good shape. They've got a little bit of weather cracking, but they lined right up. We had a little bit of an issue with the right side. The wheel had never been spun out, and that's what you gotta spin them out all the way so that way they can bolt up correctly, and then you can spin them in and out for whatever you're doing. Otherwise, you said it's a 1935?
Yep.
WD-45. It's got a power crater motor, 4-speed, forward transmission, 1 reverse. We use it for pulling most of our own farm equipment. We used to use it with the 6-foot quack digger that we have, but now we were able to find an 8-foot wide quack digger for a 9-foot wide tractor with duels, and we're hoping somewhere down the line we can find a 10-foot disc or an 8 or an 8 or 9-foot, so that way we can help Dan's dad out in the farm, in the field a little bit more. But otherwise,
you got a plow for this tractor?
No.
No plow.
No plow. Dan's dad does most of the plowing. He's got a 4-bottom or 5. I think it's a 4-bottom Oliver that he uses with his 1066 or his 806. But otherwise, it's a good running and starting tractor. This one, compared to the WD, will start up any kind of weather.
We blow 0 down in the winter and it'll crack right over.
Yep.
This is a WD-45 now.
Yep.
Okay, with a wide front.
With a factory wide front.
Factory wide front. How about that?
Factory 3-bolt wide front. It's fully extended out.
It can go farther. It's just not all the way out.
Okay.
It can go over past where the dual set. It can go sit closer.
Okay. This winter we're gonna stick it inside the shop and get a new front end. Get a new front end and a new hood. New front end, new hood, and just give her the love and attention that she hasn't been given by previous owners.
The hood doesn't look too bad to me. It's just got a few dents.
Couple of dents in it. And it's the factory original hood. It's still got the original dealer over here on the right side of the tractor. Came from Kruger Implement.
Plainview, Minnesota.
Yep.
Pretty nice. You know, you never know what's going to show up on Function Junction here on Sunday morning, and these boys come driving up in their tractors. It's pretty interesting. These guys have been working on tractors for quite a few years.
We usually bring 6 different tractors. We've got, we try and switch it up every weekend when we come to church. Sometimes, depending on how we're feeling, we'll even put flags on them. We got a couple of different ways we put flags on them. Of course, we got the flag mount. The 620, you can just run it right along the seat and use some tying wire and tie it up.
Electrical wire.
Yeah, electrical wire. But otherwise, we've got this WD-45 that we bring with now recently putting duels on it. The John Deere 620 we bring. We've got a Farmall H.
An H, Farmall. What year is that?
That's a 40s tractor, I believe. Early 40s.
Early 40s, okay.
We've got a WD Allis-Chalmers, and that's a
1941.
Yep.
That's a Pearl Harbor tractor.
We've got a
1937 John Deere.
37 John Deere.
Yep.
That's a spoke wheel, isn't it?
Yep. And we got a 1938 John Deere Beyond blocks.
That's currently getting fixed up.
That does run.
We've only ever brought it once, but Dan's also got a nice, fully restored
1936 WC hand start gas.
36 WC.
On full rubber.
Full rubber.
Hand start. That's on rubber.
Yep.
That's the only one. I'm the 5th owner of that fifth generation owner of that tractor.
How about that? And you put a lot of work into that tractor, though. When you got it, it didn't run so good, if I remember.
Head gasket.
The head gasket.
And you had to put a head gasket in it.
No,
Okay.
the head
We just
gasket
flipped-
on it was just fine.
Finally,
It was
flipped
just
it over. It was
backwards.
backwards.
So you use the same head gasket,
Yep,
you
the
just
original.
turned it over and put it on. And
Yep,
it,
because it was the little hole was covering the other side and it was not pressuring water into the motor.
uh-huh.
So we flipped it and it started cooling that motor down. Now it don't dump as much.
And it doesn't leak any compression or anything.
Not
You're
at all.
pretty good with it. How about that?
It's a good starting running tractor. We plan on somewhere down the line using it actually in the field with the
Cultivator.
6-foot quack digger that we've got, and we're currently looking for a ground-driven manure spreader for it as well.
But I'm gonna look for cultivators that can mount on the front of that WC that just lower by the lever. That'd be
So.
yeah.
Boy, it sounds like you guys are going to be pretty busy this summer.
Well, this winter.
You going to go
Yeah.
to shows with them? You going to take them to shows and parades? Or?
He's going to be taking them.
This will be at Heartland Days up in Lewiston. This will be a pulling tractor. This
A
will be-
pulling tractor?
Well, we're gonna make it see if we can lock the slide up at the crossing center.
We're gonna home build a weight bracket for the front end and use international 1066 weights on the front end. And we figure with the duels,
You'll lock the slide forward.
it'll be a pretty good pulling tractor.
A WC will be up there. It'll be parked in the tractor show.
Yep.
That tractor will not be. My brother wants to make it a pulling tractor, but I'm not in the line to make it a pulling tractor.
You know, that's my philosophy with these old tractors. I always figure that they've pulled all their life, you know.
Yeah.
Just make a show tractor out of them. Let people, you know, explain what they did and then show the tractor. But each to his own. If you want to make a pulling tractor, more power to you.
I'm thinking about just making the bracket where it just bolts in the frame tub. And we can just take it off, and it's just back to a regular field tractor.
Yep. It's still going to be a
Workhorse.
running driving, because as far as we're concerned, it's our biggest tractor that we currently have. And so every implement we buy, if that can't pull it, well, guess what? We don't buy it.
I tell everybody in my
So-
words, if the tractor ain't in the field pulling, it ain't worth the farm life.
Oh,
They
boy.
all have to have a special place to work. They got to keep their own. That's what I say.
That's a good philosophy. I believe in that too.
Tractor don't keep its own. What's its point if it's sitting around?
My wife used to tell me that. You don't need another tractor. You got one. Well, I'll hook one on the disc and one on the plow and one on the hay mower.
Yeah, so that way you can go through the field with 4 different tractors and just get it done one go.
Get her done in one go. Get her done, boys.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's really, really neat to see these tractors come up in the yard. You know, these boys bring them to church every Sunday. They bring different tractors. And
As long as it's not raining or too cold. Like during winter, we usually don't bring tractors. We'd just be crazy if we did that.
Yeah.
Um,
This Sunday we actually parked that one in parking spots, and this one in a parking
we
spot.
parked them
They
in the
both fit.
parking lot for the church. Took up 2 parking spots, so that wasn't too bad.
Well, they both
But-
fit perfectly fine.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
try to bring different tractors every weekend to church.
Got to switch up the pace of the tractor.
You know,
well, you know, that might be an incentive for these old tractor lovers to come to church to see the
Yep.
tractors anyway.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
had one guy in a white shirt come over and talk to us about the tractor this morning at church.
Mm,
after
good.
we got out of mass.
Yep.
He keened right to that 45 with the duels, and he started talking about that more than the 620.
It seems that there is a lot of interest in these old tractors.
That's the thing. Younger
Yep.
kids need to get into this kind of stuff. They're gonna learn.
Yeah, go to an auction, pick one up for cheap.
Cheap and
If it
fix it.
doesn't run, we'll find a spot, fix it up, put it in the shop, get it running again. You know, you and your dad can have a project. You know, there's nothing wrong with working on an old tractor if your dad is mechanically inclined, or heck, even your grandpa. Like if it wasn't for my grandpa, I probably wouldn't be into tractors. Hanging out with Dan, his dad, you know. This was actually the very first tractor that I ever learned how to drive on, and so it has a sentimental connection with me. Once you get that connection with the tractor, you will hang on to it forever. And Dan says I've got this weird thing about me that the 620, whenever someone else can't get it to start, I can always get it to start.
Yep, he's the only one. If it's a cold, warm, buggy day, he'll walk out there and she'll fire right on the first run, and she's away she's going.
Yep.
I say he's got a little bit more love with this tractor than most of us, because I can't even start it on the coldest day. He comes over and she kicks her motor right up and goes.
You know what's really interesting, everybody, is these two guys here. I don't know how old they are. I'm figuring
Dan is
I'm 22.
22,
and I'm 21.
21 and 22, and they're talking about the young guys getting involved in the tractor club. That really makes me feel good to hear that. But you know what makes me feel bad is these guys are talking about the young guys, and I'm that old guy. I'm supposed to be talking about you young guys.
The old, you know, the old guys, the collectors out there, you know, you gotta have faith in the younger generation to have someone that shows an interest in these, that you can know that when you collect them, restore them, and
Take care of them.
That's
when,
right.
when your day comes, you'll have faith in knowing that someone will come along, buy it, have the same love and care for it that the old guys had for them
Exactly right.
to fix them up, restore them. You know, they.
Make the world a better place, I guess.
That's
I tell-
right.
I tell a lot of people that I see who look at tractors like, why do you got them? I say it's a dying breed. Tractors are a dying breed. No, there's not a lot of old guys left that farm anymore, but us younger guys come along and we pull them out of the sheds and away we go. There's a guy over by Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he still farms. He's my uncle. He's 73, and he's still farming. And he's got Parkinson's disease, but he's still out there in the combine just to going.
Really good for
He's a
him.
Vietnam vet, and he ain't retired. I asked when he's going to retire. He said when they shovel dirt over me at 6 feet in the ground.
Oh boy.
I said, that's a statement all its own.
Oh wow.
That's the way my dad is. My dad's the same way. He's never going to stop farming. It might kill him, but we're going to push it until we can get done.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you, it's really a thrill for me to see these tractors come by and even come up in the yard. I met these guys when they were a lot younger than they are now. I remember Dan came up with it, and his brother came up with an old stationary engine, and we got that running.
Oh, yeah.
And it sure is good to see young guys using these tractors. And
I believe I bought that 45, and I bought that out of high school. 2018, I bought that 45, and that sat since 2019. That tractor sat in a grove.
well, I remember when you were in high school, you used to bring them to school. They had a tractor day, and you used to drive a tractor up to school.
Yep.
And end of the year, every year.
I had that 37A. We couldn't get it started, and we had to push start it in the parking lot. Pop started, and she fired right up, and away we went. That
It's,
was the best day.
well, that's really neat, I'll tell
It
you.
wasn't it like 10th grade that I started coming along on that?
Yep.
'Cause
10th grade, we got you to drive one up there, and
Yep.
end of the year, we hopped the curb. Cop shook his head at us because we bounced the curb with the tractors,
Yep.
and away we went.
Yep.
We didn't care.
Principal said don't jump the curb. And you know, nowadays we see them. They don't even allow them to park on the grass anymore.
No, you can't. They can't park on grass anymore at the high
Can't
school.
park on the grass. You got to park them in the parking lot. Like, come on. When we were in high school, that was the biggest thrill. You know, everybody would bring their tractors. You know, whether it was their tractor or it was their dad's tractor or their uncle's tractor. I mean, there were kids that bring choppers, silage trucks, airflows. I mean, it was
just the best day in the world.
right.
It made the world a better place.
The best day of the year in
Yeah,
school.
'cause, like
It
you
was
would
the
get
last-
guys that are 85, 95 walking up there because they wanted to see these tractors lined out.
I saw that.
And-
I went up and looked at them, and there was a lot of older fellas
Like
looking at those
last year-
tractors.
Last year in school, I took my John Deere B. That thing had that fan just ripping itself apart, and I still drove it in and parked it. I did not care one bit.
People still liked it, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yep.
But it's
You know,
just,
they don't have to be polished up like a collector car to be appreciated.
Oh no.
I'm glad you guys think that way too, because it's good that you show them.
that's
You keep
called
a hobby
patina.
alive.
Patina. That's what
patina.
rust is. It's patina.
Dan once told me he's in his work clothes. The
oh, yeah,
tractor.
45 and the 620 are in their work clothes. Right?
In their work clothes.
Yep.
That fender is literally welded together with rebar. Both sides of it.
Yep.
Well, they keep them patched up. They keep them running. They drive them around. They show them to people. Two young guys keeping a
yeah.
tractor. Conway and Dan, I take my hat off to you because I appreciate what you're doing. I think everybody else in the world does too. You know, you never know what's going to happen here on the Function Junction at the Maple Tree Forge. These guys come up in the yard, and boy, I tell you, I really appreciate it. It's always good to see the younger generation doing something that us old guys are starting to forget about.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about these tractors and talk to everybody out there.
You're entirely welcome, young fella.
We appreciate it a lot for the people to watch around the world to learn this stuff.
Thanks, Dan. We'll see you again next time. He's running smooth.
Oh yeah. We'll see you later.
Thanks for stopping, guys.